So once again, good evening, everybody, and welcome to today's class. So in continuation from where we stopped our previous class, today I'm going to be talking on conditional expression in Python using the if-else statement. One thing about programming is that programming is made up of rules. So it is those set of rules that your translator program, which can be a compiler or an interpreter, those set of rules, that's what it will follow. So there are different kind of statement. There are some certain expression in a particular programming language, in this case, which is Python, that you can use to better write code and to better tell your computer what you want to do for you. So what we're talking about today is using the conditional expression using the if-else statement. Let's say for example, now let me declare some variable. So I'll use the persons present here in this Zoom meeting to define the variable. Let's say the first one here, let me declare variable now. Let me say that the height here is equals to, let me just use 6 feet in this case. So this is an integer. Then what else? Okay, we have Uche here. So I'll give Uche, I don't really know your height. So let me say his height, let's say Uche's height is, I don't really know, can be like maybe 6.5. So what we'll do right now, we've already defined the variable that is height and then Uche's height. So we are about to use an if-else statement. So this is how we write it in Python. So this is what we'll do now. The first thing you have to do now is, so don't forget, we are working with if-else statement. So I don't want to run this, I just want to type something else. So if here, which is if, is a reserved word in Python. And also else here is a reserved word in Python. That's why you can see that it is highlighted in orange. And like I said before, when you're working with a reserved word in Python, you don't name your variable using reserved word in Python. It is totally wrong for you to give your variable if, and it's also wrong for you to name your variable else in Python. If you do this, you are going to run into error. And yeah, for best practices, you just have to make sure that you don't name your variable using reserved word in Python. What you do for me after this class, you can just go online and search for reserved word, list of reserved word or reserved keywords in Python, so that you'll be aware of them, so that when you're naming your variable, you won't make such mistake. So this is what we'll do now. I want to run an expression now. I could say if, so this is a variable now. So if, so an underscore h, don't forget, make sure that the variable you are typing, it's exactly the same as the variable you defined. If not, you run into error. So if which is height, so this is what we'll do now, is greater than the height. Then after you have defined the line for the if function, this is what you do in Python. Like what I said before, you have different rules when it comes to writing a particular programming language. So if you're writing an if statement, after writing the expression, first of all, then what comes next is the body. So for you to tell Python that what you're about to write next is the body of the if statement, you have to end it with a column. And this is the symbol for a column, or this is what a column looks like. So this is it. This is a column and this is a semicolon. Note the difference. So this is a column. So if Uche height is greater than Delphi height, if I should click on enter, it will automatically indent it for me. What it means is that it will give, don't forget, when you, even between tab and a space bar, if you should click on a space bar button 4 times, it's the same thing as pressing a tab key once. So just note the difference. So what we are trying to do now is after clicking enter key or the return key, you see that it is going to start from here where this cursor is blinking. It's not going to maintain the same line from where the if key was started from. This is the way you tell Python that what you're about to write now, it's the body of the if expression. So what we want it to output. So this is what we do now. So if Uche height is greater than Dafe height, then we now say print, then don't forget, in case we've forgotten, go back and rewatch the previous video. So what we do now, we say Uche is taller than Dafe. So this is what we do. So if I should click on enter, you can see Uche is taller than Dafe. It can also be a situation whereby this particular expression is wrong, whereby Uche's height is less than Dafe. That means Dafe is actually taller than Uche. So what we do now, we are going to use the S conditional statement. So what we'll do now, so let me just output another line here, just to make sure that my interpreter is actually working. So, okay, so what we'll do now, so let me just copy this here, so avoid me typing a second time. So this is what we'll do now. We are going to modify this now. So in this case now, I want to like, let me cut this right now. Let me place this here. So if the phase height is greater than so what we'll do, I'll print here. So don't forget. So in this case now, if the phase height now is greater than Uche's height, what we are going to do, we'll print Dafe is taller. You understand? But in a situation whereby it is wrong, this is what we will not do next. Don't forget. Just follow what I'm doing. Then when you after this class, you just practice what I've taught you. So what we do now, we are trying to give two expressions now. The first thing we are going to do now is, first of all, your interpreter is going to run through this first line of code. If the phase height is greater than Uche's height, print the phase taller. But in a situation whereby the phase height is not greater than Uche's height, what will happen? There are two ways of doing this particular, of writing this particular code. The first thing is that, like, recall when we did for this first line of code, the first example I gave, if Uche's height is greater than Dafe height, and when I run this code, in this case, Uche is taller than Dafe. This is what we set inside the print function. This is what we want Python to render. But in a situation whereby it is actually false, this expression is false, and you want the Python interpreter to display a custom message whereby instead of, in the situation whereby it is wrong, maybe if Uche is not taller than Dafe and you want it to render another expression like Uche is not taller in a situation whereby it is false, you can actually do that in Python. So what we do now, so we write the first expression, if Dafe is greater than Uche's height, don't forget, you end the expression with a colon, then print Dafe is taller. Then this is what we'll now do now. Else, don't forget, you end it with a column here, then you click on enter. Then this is what we'll do next. Then we could say we want Python to print so we could say, instead of saying Dafe is taller, we could say Dafe is shorter. I don't like that. Dafe is shorter than Uche. So this is what happened right now. First of all, we already defined two variables. The first variable here is Dafe's height. So Dafe's height here is 6. Then Uche's height here is 6.5. Then we give the Python interpreter a condition. We said if Dafe's height is greater than Uche's height, print Dafe is taller. But if you should compare these two heights, one is 6 and one is 6.5, you already know that this is false. Dafe is actually shorter. But imagine I didn't add this else statement here. Since this expression is false, the Python interpreter will not render any code, or it will not render any message. But in a situation whereby an expression is false, and you also want the Python interpreter to render a custom message, that's when you use the else statement, you understand? So we gave the Python interpreter a command using both two keywords. Note, it is not a must that you have to use the if and the else keyword in the same code. But if you want to display a custom message whereby this particular statement or this particular expression is false, you can use the else keyword, you understand? So pardon my typo here, this is supposed to be is, but for the sake of learning, just understand what I'm trying to say. So the first expression we give to Python is that if Daffy height is greater than Uche height, print Daffy is taller. But if this particular command, this particular code, this particular line of code is false, I want you to print this that is shorter than Uche. This is the result of it. So this is just an introduction. In our next class, I'm going to be going deeper. I just want you to understand the basics of how you can use the if and the else keyword. And this is a condition. So we are trying to give the Python interpreter a condition. If this is true, do this, else do this. So conditional statement usually make use of two keywords, the if and the else. So I'm also going to be showing you from the next tutorial on this using other expressions, because sometimes there can be a situation whereby you want to compare multiple multiple expression. For example, now, if Daffy is great, let's say I have three individuals here. I have Daffy, I have Uche, then I also have Nonso. I could say if Daffy is greater than Uche, Daffy's height is greater than Uche, and also Daffy's height is also greater than Nonso. How are we going to write that in Python? That's when we are going to be making use of another keyword which is known as the elif. Yeah. So I just want to introduce this to you guys, but in our next class, I'm going to be showing you how you are going to use this elif keyword in Python. So after this class, just take a pause, go back in case you can't grasp what I've said so far. Take a pause and go through this, and also play with it and modify it and see how you can tweak it so that you can understand better. So that's the tutorial I have for you guys today. I just want to, because some persons actually complain that I should try and make the tutorial very short. Anytime I'm introducing a new concept, I should make it very short. So that's what I'm doing. I don't want to go too deep. I don't want to make sure that each tutorial video will not be more than 10 minutes maximum, so that the comprehension will be very good for you guys. So it's better I do 10-minute short videos than doing one particular video that's 1 hour or 50 minutes. You understand? So that's what I'm trying to work toward here. So we just practice what I've taught you guys so far for today. And in case you need a refresher, in case you are wondering what this sign is, this is greater than symbol. And I taught you guys what all this operator does in Python. If you are doing the arithmetic, the greater than, then also this greater than symbol fall under the comparison operator, whereby you are trying to compare if two particular value. So in case you are wondering why I use this greater than symbol, go back and watch all the videos after the previous video, then you understand. So you see that as we are going deeper, each concept built on what we've done in the previous class. So what I'll do now, I'm going to unmute you guys right now. In case you have any question, please or feel free to unmute yourself and ask the question so that I can clarify for you guys. So if you have any question, please feel free to unmute yourself.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I have a question. So when using this, when calling out this conditional expression, when you write the, let's say the condition in front of the if, there's no need to write it in front of the else. Like what I'm saying, for example, now, like here where you wrote, if Daffy height is greater than Uche's height, since you've written that, there's no need to write it with the else, like in less than or anything at all.
See, the only time, okay, let me quickly do something for you now, okay? I want to make use of, okay, let me just give you another example so that you understand better what I'm trying to do. Okay. Let me just copy this now. Let me paste this here. So if, okay, in this case now, let me call this Uche. In this case now, let me see. Are you there? Are you following?
Yes, I am.
Okay. I just want to clarify something for you. Okay. Print. Let me do this now. Obviously, from if you should compare Uche's height and Dafia, you know that Uche is taller. Okay.
Yes.
Then what I want to do now, I want to copy this S statement here so that you see what I'm trying to do. So I could say else here. Let me remove this, sorry. There's no this for this. I already copied it twice. See, this is what will happen. Can you see this? I said if
Yes.
Uche's height is greater than Dafe height, print Uche is taller. If you should compare both heights, Uche's height and Dafe height, what do you think will be what do you think will be the result without me running this code?
Uche is taller.
Uche is taller, right? Because obviously Uche is taller when you compare. And I also wrote here, if this expression is false, this is what I want you to print for me, Dafe, is what? Taller. Let me make this here. Dafe is taller. But do you know that this is what is going to be rendered, Uche is taller, and the Python interpreter will not run Dafe is taller because
So I didn't hear
Uche
you.
is taller. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Yes. See, just follow what I'm doing. If you should compare both height, Daffy's height and Uche's height here, I said if Uche's height is taller than Daffy's height, print Uche is taller. Obviously, Uche is 6.5 and Daffy is 6. Uche's height is taller, right? And
Yes.
without me running this code, you already know the output. If you should just look at it, it means Uche is taller. This is the line of code that is going to be. This is what is going to be outputted using Python. Uche is taller. Then I also added another line here, just in case this Uche's height is actually lesser than Daffy's height. This is what I want Python to run for me. But this second line will not run. Why? Because there is no need. Why? Because the first expression is actually correct. Do you understand? So the reason why you use the else statement, you use else statement just in case this first line here is wrong.
Is wrong.
And instead of me not showing anything, okay, let me just run this code now. Uche is taller, obviously. You get?
Yeah.
So when I run this code, so do you see that there's no need sometimes in doing this, in adding this particular line? Yes. But in a situation,
so just there like
yes,
contingency.
yes, just a plan B, just in case this particular line it's wrong or it's false. That's when you use this. So also, it also enables you to add a custom message to it. So I could say instead of using that installer, I could say that is shorter, that kind of thing. So you can just manipulate it. This is just the skeleton. When you start writing complex code, you could as well tweak it to give you your desired output, what you want. But I'm just trying to like give you the foundation so that you know what is possible using the if and else statements. You understand?
Yeah.
So that's what they do. So what you do now, it's always good practice to add the else statement, but it is not compulsory. But the if statement is very compulsory when you are using the conditional expression. You understand?
Yes.
Okay. So hope I'm clear on that.
Yes, thank you.
All right. So is there another person that have any questions? Please, if you have a question, please feel free to ask so that I can clarify this. All right, so I'll take that as a no. So what you do, immediately this class ends, I'm going to send the recorded link to the Discord server. So do well to watch it and practice. So in our next class, I'm going to be going deeper using conditional expression in Python. So make sure you practice. And when you are learning also, don't forget to take notes to help you comprehend what you are learning faster. And also don't forget to have proper rest. So see you in our next class, which is on Saturday. So have a lovely day. Bye-bye.